I think we are officially live. Yay! Oh, it's Tuesday. It is officially day one of the Kansas City quarantine. Ooh, okay. It is what it is. We're going to make the best of it. Hopefully I am able to do that a little bit for you through this. I guess we'll find out. Who knows? So for those of you that don't know me, I am Crystal Webster. I am founder and chief Solace officer of Sharing Solace. Hi, Lee. I am also the author of the forthcoming book, Confessions of a Griever, turning a hot mess into a Haute Message, Laughable Lessons for when life just sucks. Hi, Rima. Nice to see you. So, yeah, I'm an author. I'm a business owner, but more so than that, I am Madeline's mom. Yeah, plain and simple. I'm Madeline's mom. So if you're watching here today, I would love to know, please leave a comment. Unfortunately, I can't see if anybody's here unless you leave a comment, or I guess some I kind of can, but not very well. So please, oh, thank you, Lee. I actually was like, oh my gosh, this is so yellow. But yeah, I'm kind of digging it. So yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, so if you're here, leave a comment, please. Give me some hearts. Let me know that you're here so that I can say hi to you. And I really want to make this more of a conversation than a dissertation kind of thing. So yeah, let me see. So if you haven't already signed up to get the daily reminders that we're going to go live as I read a story from the book every day, please head over to sharingsolace.com/book or sharingsolace.com/confessions preview. Both will get you basically to the same part, the same thing. Sharingsolace.com/book gets you to kind of, it's a sales page kind of thing, but if you scroll past the buy the book, you will see more information about the book and what the whole idea is and all that good stuff. But if you click the big purple here button, that will take you to sharingsolace.com/confessions preview, where you can sign up to get the first 2 chapters of the book actually in writing, and also a reminder from me every day to say, hey, don't forget, we're going live, we're reading the next story, here's what the next story is. And honestly, I was concerned about doing this just because I don't really like to watch myself on video, but I'm having a good time. And I think that people are, at least I hope other people are enjoying it and getting to hear a little bit about who I am and help them as they move through their own grief. So, yeah. So go to sharingsolace.com/book to get the first 2 chapters in writing and to get reminder updates that we're doing this every day, except for Sunday. Excuse me. There we go. And also, if you know of anyone else that could benefit from these wild and crazy and irreverent yet honest and a little bit inappropriate stories about grief, share it with them. Tag them or send it to them in a message or however you want. As of today, as we are physically isolating ourselves, I don't want people to think and feel as though they are mentally and emotionally having to isolate themselves as well, because that's just tough. It's super tough, especially when we have to stay in our houses and stay 6 feet apart from everyone. And yeah, it just is what it is. So let's try to make the best of it. So, yeah. All right. So let's get started. I'm very excited about this story today, because it is truly the first meat and potatoes story that we're getting into. The first 4 have been kind of the salad, the appetizers of the book meal, because it was my story. And although I think that is very powerful to hear about another person's lost story, I think that the tips and the tricks and the antidotes and the self-helpy part is more powerful. Not better, not worse, just more powerful. So for those of you that don't know, I am about to release my first book called Confessions of a Griever, turning a hot mess into a hot message. Laughable Lessons for When Life Just Sucks. It will be coming out in May 19th officially, because that is my daughter Madeline's would-be 10th birthday, and it is super duper duper important that this be my 10th birthday present to her. So come hell, high water, or the coronavirus, May 19th. Now there is some adult language in, I don't think there's so much today. I really like to use my 4-letter words tastefully, but just in general, there is an occasional 4-letter word and a lot of misspelled 4-letter words. So keep that in mind. This isn't for little ears, so earmuff if necessary, but I don't think there's necessarily any today. And yeah, I really hope that this just kind of starts a conversation about real things, you know, and maybe helps you think about your grief and your mourning and your loss in a little bit different way. So, yeah, so we picked this story was chosen yesterday from the poll that we did, and you will get the opportunity to vote at the end for what we read tomorrow. And so I'll read it and then we will go from there. So today's story is entitled, Any Loss is Grieveable. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, no relation, the definition of grieve is to cause great distress. To take it one step further than that, distress is defined as a painful situation, pain or suffering affecting the body, a body part, or the mind. Let me do one thing. There we go. Nowhere in the above definitions does it say anything about death. Yeah, your mind immediately goes to dead when you think of the word grief. That's the easy answer, the low-hanging fruit. But grief can come in so many different forms. The death of a person, duh. The death or loss of a relationship, death or loss of a pet, loss of a job, loss or change in a situation or circumstance, loss of a dream or expected outcome, loss of personal possessions, change in your physical or emotional environment, diagnosis or chronic illness, a stubbed toe, discovering that unicorns are not real and you cannot have one for your birthday. No, really. While this is not an all-encompassing list, compare each of the bulleted items that I just read with the definition. You can grieve each and every one of those scenarios in varying degrees. And if you even try to tell me that you can't, or how hard you can grieve each of them, please see Don't Call My Husband an A-hole before I punch you in the throat. I lied. There was a 4-letter word. Oops. Now let me tell you a ridiculous story about how you can grieve just about anything, inanimate objects included, and how grief is all relative to your present situation and mental state. In high school and college, I drove a blue 1988 Toyota 4Runner. My parents bought it used and it probably had 100,000 miles on it by the time it was mine to drive. But oh, that car was sweet. Girls wanted to be me and boys wanted to be with me. It had a moonroof, a tailgate window that retracted by putting the key in the lock, a rag top for the summer which folded down, basically made it a convertible pickup. It even had a personalized license plate. Sleeper. Because my dad worked in the OR as a nurse anesthetist, not because I slept around. Looking back on it, maybe not the best idea for a teenage girl's car. I didn't take the best care of that car. There was always homework, textbooks, clothes, leftover fast food, CDs. Remember those? You name it in the backseat. Again, I was a teenage girl, but dang, did I love that car more than life itself. One evening, a couple of years into college, I got a call from my mom on my Zach Morris cell phone during Gilmore Girls. At this point, the car was well over a dozen years old, but don't do the math. I'm 23 today, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Your dad and I don't think you should be driving the 4Runner to school anymore. It's starting to have problems. School is just too far away. Next time you come home, we'll have to swap it out for another car. What? Yeah, it's just not safe anymore for you to drive the couple hours to and from school. The regulator's going out. The starter is about to be replaced. What? Next time you come home, I can't talk to you right now. I hung up the phone and had to take slow, deep breaths to calm down. Honestly, I cried myself to sleep that night, knowing my time with my beloved 4Runner was nearing the end. I was devastated. So let's flash forward to 2011. Madeline's physical presence had already come and gone from my life. I was out with a group of friends for a much-needed evening of relaxing. My first ever, brand new, completely paid off blue Toyota Prius was in the parking lot just waiting for me. Yes, I seem to have a thing for Toyotas and the color blue. After a couple of adult beverages, too much fried food, and so much laughter I could barely breathe, I walked out the door to head home, and there was my car, just where I'd left it. And there was my rear bumper, 10 feet away, not where I had left it. Well, that sucks. After a big old sigh and a heavy shrug, I picked up the bumper and shoved it into my car. And I went on my way home. I continued to drive without a rear bumper to my brand new car for months before I decided it was probably time to have it reattached. Maybe at this point in my life, I was in a better financial situation. If money can fix it, then it's not really a problem, right? But more likely, my Maddie had very abruptly put things into perspective for me. Excuse me. Now, I fully understand that things can be replaced and repaired, but come on. The entire rear bumper to a brand new car? That's kind of a big thing. In all honesty, if Madeline hadn't come and gone from this earth to teach me that lesson just one more time, I can all but guarantee you I would have flipped out right there in the middle of the parking lot. I would have made a huge and obnoxious scene, letting it ruin mine and probably everyone else's night entirely. Completely neglecting the merriment just moments before. The lesson of relative grief is one that needs to be learned over and over and over again. And I believe you can't truly learn that until you lose something that can never be replaced. All right, so that is the story of Any Loss is Grieveable. I would love to know, honestly, if you believe that. Do you think you can grieve anything that is lost? Yeah, let me know. So now we get to pick what we're going to read tomorrow. We have 3 options. A, still don't believe I have the right to grieve any of the things on the list? Sounds like you need to have permission to be a real, live human and have feelings. Read permission. Oh, let me do this real quick. There we go. Read permission. B, like pop culture references and ridiculous stories? How about another one? Read 2 truths and a lie. Think this story about my 2 blue Priuses is absurd? P.S. It is absurd. But let's talk about some other absolutely absurd things you will second guess. All right, so there are your options. A is permission. B is 2 truths and a lie. And C is you will second guess. So in the comments, please leave just an A, B, or C. It's super easy. A, B, or C. What do you want to listen to? What do you want to hear tomorrow? Honestly, I like them all. and they're all snarky. So we're finally on the right path, in my opinion. So please vote A, B, or C what you'd like to listen to or what you'd like to hear tomorrow, and we will read that. Let me see if I have anything else. So if you missed out, don't forget to go to sharingsolace.com/book. That's sharingsolace.com/book to get on the list so that you are reminded every day that we go live and read a new story from the book. And then you'll also get the first couple stories in writing if you want to read them, and all kinds of extra goodies and stuff that I'm not going to tell you about, but I promise I like goodies. So sharingsolace.com/book. All right, Lee, A. We got an A. So yes, sharingsolace.com.book. And make sure to vote, whether that is right now during the live or afterwards. If you want to think about it, what you want to read, we can do that too. But either way, I will be picking, I'm not picking anything. The story with the most votes this evening is what we will read tomorrow, probably around the same time. If that works for everyone, maybe I'll switch it up just a little bit, try maybe a little later in the day. Yeah, we'll just have to see. So until then, I hope that you stay safe and healthy. Please watch the replay if you're coming in a little bit late. Stay safe and healthy and get grateful. And I will see you tomorrow. Mwah. Pushing all the buttons, pushing all the buttons.